If this shocking footage from Iraq doesn't convince you why we most definitely do not want boatloads of young men coming here from Middle Eastern countries, nothing will. Unfortunately, it may well be coming to a town near you soon if it hasn't already. Oh, and did I mention that your hard-earned tax money pays for them to live in hotels up and down the country while you struggle with the cost of living? All forced upon us against our will by this wretched government. These young Iraqi men apparently harassed and assaulted this young lady because she was dressed immodestly. Really? They think that is an acceptable way to treat a woman purely because of what she is wearing? Acceptable behaviour taking place in public in broad daylight. Make no mistake about it, there is men coming into this country who will act just like those in the video. And even the ones who wouldn't act like this but totally support these actions are problematic. Men who have cultural attitudes and worldviews that are not compatible with life in Britain. Therefore, we have to conclude it is not in the best interests of our country and people to allow them to come here. Any decision to allow them to enter in large numbers is one of insanity. An act of self-harm by a suicidal country. If the rest of Europe has any sense, they will do the same. If the rest of Europe doesn't let them in the first place, they can't cross the English Channel. How many men with these attitudes are illegally coming here every day? How many are put up in hotels paid for by us? How many are walking the streets posing a danger? I wonder how many have been picked up by the RNLI and taxied here. All done under the guise of compassion. Shame there is no compassion for the victims on the receiving end of these migrants. Perhaps the lefty lawyers, politicians and lifeboat people could explain all this to the victims and their families. The deluded do-gooders will say if they do commit crimes, they should be arrested. Well, if they weren't here in the first place, they wouldn't need to be arrested. Unless, of course, you're saying rape and violence is part and parcel of society now, so just shut up and get used to it. Again, those people can explain that to the victims and their families. Are we so stupid we believe these men suddenly arrive on our shores and adopt our way of life and follow our laws and customs and become model citizens? Many of them don't give a damn about our laws and customs. Any country has the right to reject entry to people who don't follow their laws. Any responsible government has an obligation to do exactly that, especially if that's what its citizens want. And rest assured, many of us clearly do. But since when did that matter? It's not like we get a say in our own country now, is it? What on earth has Britain to gain by allowing this madness? We must make it crystal clear that any government who does not deal with this issue will be committing political suicide. The disingenuous liberals may want to pretend all these men are surgeons and doctors who deserve our compassion. Well, my compassion is reserved for our own people first and foremost, and the bit I have left goes towards refugees we know are likely to appreciate our kindness and become model citizens. Refugees who come from countries where their beliefs aren't in direct conflict with our own. And I believe these men do not come under that category. Anyone who disagrees is free to point out all the benefits brought here by massive numbers of single men from these places. I have no animosity towards these people. I just believe there is enough of them with a worldview that has no place anywhere near our shores. Obviously, I'm not saying all men from these countries are like this, but I believe enough of them are to make us think twice about importing them in large numbers. Better to be safe than sorry.